Day 98. I just started the video and then I realized it's day 98. And wow. This has been the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. It's changed every aspect of my life. So many issues that come up in my life now, they leave really quick. Like I can look at them and not judge myself when an issue comes up. So issues come up for all of us. Even when you meditate all the time, issues come up. In fact, they come up much faster when you meditate. They own you when you don't. So when an issue comes up, if you don't meditate, you think that issue is who you are, and you start fighting yourself and you go through so much stuff. But as you meditate more, it's almost like you're becoming like a water slide, and then the issues are the water. Just, it's like you're getting out of the way and just like, come on out, issue. Just because every day you learn a new way to love yourself and to make the slide bigger and to take every single thing that's ever shown up in your life and everything that will show up in your life that day and just let it show up. I have so many things that come up, all kinds of stuff about me, but what's amazing is I don't judge it as much. That's what it really is. And so I'll be like, oh, I'm going, and I'll have these amazing talks with my girlfriend Morgan, and we'll be talking, and I'll be like, oh, I realize that I have this thing coming up right now, but I'm saying it almost excited and not mad at myself for it. And so as you create this giant wide open love door for all these issues to come out, so many of them come out so much faster. So you really change faster, because what keeps us the same is our lack of willingness to allow an issue or an old story of you to leave. So that's what keeps us the same. We're here as human beings to constantly change. Everybody thinks that they're here to stay the same. Not everybody, but many people. The consensus on our planet is that this is who you are. You have this job, you have this story, you go to school, you do this, you have this plan, you do this one thing, and this is who you are. And we're naturally just rocket ships that have used everything we can to stay the same instead of taking off. We're just rocket ships, but we just go, well, if I watch this movie and I just keep doing this, and I just can't sit alone and just be here. Because if you just sat for days, everything would just skyrocket really quickly. And all this stuff is trying to do is leave. And we just do everything we can to keep it there. Keep all these old stories in us, keep the time we were hurt in our past, keep our belief system, keep our old stories, keep our, jobs and our relationships that don't serve us anymore, that don't help our growth. We think that we're being selfless when we hold on to something that we don't need anymore. Sometimes we're like, well, I don't want to hurt that person, or I don't want to hurt that thing, or my boss would be really hurt, so it'd be, I'm going to be good, and I'm not going to be selfish and just leave this job and go into my purpose. But it's actually the most selfish thing you can do, because it's much more selfless to face yourself and grow and give all the people around you and people in the world permission to grow also. So it's our natural right to just rocket ship out of here. It's what we were supposed to do. We were never, I really believe, after all this meditation, I really believe nature never wanted us to hold on to any issues. I almost believe we weren't even here to transcend issues. I believe issues were never supposed to be existent. That we were just supposed to be always going straight up and never hold on to an issue or an old story about ourselves or an old belief. We are just supposed to always be moving forward and not grab onto any story. But if you stop yourself from moving forward, which has become the norm, and it's made what we're naturally here to do so ridiculously rare and unseen and unrewarded, that if you do anything like this, that you're the crazy person. Meanwhile, everyone is staying the same and walking into the next day continually with just loads of baggage from their entire past on their back. Just carrying this pain and this issue, and this is when I was went through this problem, and this is when I was cheated on, and this is when I hurt that one person, and this is when I just got this backpack, and at any point we could take it off. You can meditate and close your eyes, and you will discover that that backpack and these stories are not you. And you will start to, it's kind of a big, scary word, but you'll start to ascend. You'll start to move forward like this, and you'll start noticing those things aren't a part of you, and it'll make no sense to carry it after that. So if you realize that you're just always supposed to be going up, and you're not supposed to be grabbing onto anything, you're not supposed to be hoarding a bunch of stuff and putting it in the attic and holding on to people's, opinions of you and holding on to, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're a rocket ship. And the way people move would be like if you're driving down the street and you're on a long road trip across the country, if you've ever seen like someone mooning you before or just flip you off or something, this would be like if you pulled over on the side of the road and were like, why are you flipping me out? You're not on your road trip anymore. You're just staying there with them for 30 years. And then you just go, well, I just hang out with this person that flipped me off forever. No, you're supposed to just drive by it. You're not supposed to be picking it up. It's not, I can tell you from the amount of stuff going on in me, we're not supposed to be picking up all of these old issues. And when you close your eyes for a couple hours a day, it's not this job to get rid of them. It's like what we were just supposed to be doing. The problem is that the world put so many things in front of us to keep us the same and addicted to things. Of course we're going to be addicted to things if we think that we're what we were yesterday. That's really depressing. To think that you are what you were yesterday. That's really depressing because every day you're something new, always. But we like to wake up and go, okay, what am I? Okay, and then we re-pick up everything. We put it right back into our body. Okay, I'm that childhood story. I'm that abuse. I'm that, person's opinion of me. I'm that time I screwed up. I'm that bad thing that I did. I'm a failure. Boom. And then we just go, time to go through the day with 10,000 pounds on me that I don't need. So of course this is, it's weird to me that sitting for 2 hours is so, such an anomaly. Is that the word I'm looking for? It's such a rare thing. And it's like, we got to counterbalance all of the story, because you notice almost every movie and every TV show is always, I've pointed this out before, but every movie, quite a bit of them are a person starts out normal, goes to shit, and then comes back up to normal 2 hours later. So they don't evolve, but they have to go up because everything's always going up. So they have to knock their crap down to the ground so that it can come back up, but not go above what they already see themselves as. So if you see yourself as a past, then transcending it and becoming what you are in the moment would mean death to your old story. So we purposefully sabotage ourselves all the time. We find the friends that will judge us the most. We revisit our problems with our family. We just find all of these horrible stories about ourselves and sabotage ourselves and say everything that's wrong with us so that we can keep swatting the balloon to the ground, and then it can rise back up again to where we already are. And then when it finally gets too high, we can go, here's my other problem. And then it starts to float back up and we go, my mom this. And then it comes back up and then we go, oh my God, I was cheated on when I was 7. That's a bad example. And then you keep going, it just keeps going back up. But that's what movies are, right? Every story is normal, like Taken. I always use this as an example. But Liam Neeson, normal guy, his daughter's kidnapped, and he gets her back. He doesn't evolve. He just fought a lot and got her. Like the beginning and the end of the movie are the same. So you leave 2 hours later going, well, everything's the same. And it teaches us to find problems, sabotage ourselves so that you can evolve back to what you perceive yourself to already be. And when you meditate, you start realizing you're not that past story, you're just this moment, and you're always just going up. That's naturally what we are. And if you were always going up, you would never grab something. My computer went out. So I don't know where I was, but my point is that if you went up and you just kept going up and kept going up, you wouldn't grab something. You would just keep going up. And that's a right that we have as human beings that almost none of us ever chooses to use, but it's always there, that we can just keep going up so fast and we don't have to bring any weight into our heart at all. And when you close your eyes, the other weights in your life just start to leave. They start to show up and start to become not real. It's like you're going, okay, body, what do you want? And it's like your body starts throwing up everything that it doesn't need. And sometimes it can be really painful and it can be this thing, but man, it's so much more painful to carry the weight of all that pain. So that's one of the biggest conclusions I have from this is it's our total right to just always go up and not hold on to anything and watch as you can have the career and the love and the everything that you want in your life, because you don't have to hold on to the weight of this world, and it's available for every one of us. And the first couple weeks are really hard because you're used to thinking that who you are is the weight carrier. And if you've been carrying, like think of if you were holding literally 100 pounds since birth, and now here I'm showing up going, you don't ever have to hold that. You'd be scared to let go of it, even if it's doing something that hurts, even if it's something that's really hard. But you don't have to have 100 pounds on you. And you'll first be like, well, who am I without this 100 pounds? I've been doing it my whole life. And I'm like, yeah, you can jump higher, you can run faster, you can do all kinds of stuff. And you're like, yeah, but this is me. This is my story. This is my mom. This is my, everything. I'm like, no, it's not. It's 100 pounds. You're like, yeah, but I love this thing. You would fall in love with it. You'd be crying as you dropped it, but it's just a piece of concrete. So you don't have to carry all that. And we don't have to carry all these other things that show up in us anymore. That's something I got from meditation. You don't have to feel all this weight. You don't have to sabotage yourself to match the weight that you're carrying. You're allowed to be free. You're a rocket ship. Take off. It's kind of a cool ending, a little dorky. Especially talking about it makes it, you just take off. Day 98.